just want to do anything to, get out of that feeling that they're feeling. Hey, what's up, pot of people of America and other places? We're just in America right now. Doing a lot of editing on the song because it needs it. Love Revolution. This is our flagship. This is our flagship song. So once I got in there, I started getting really super nitpicky. You know how I am. And of course, T was on the double to fix it, and he fixed it. But now, because Alex came in and ripped it so hard, I gotta study it a bit more, because I've been working on all the other stuff. I haven't really had a chance to live with this one. So Alex ripped it. Like, did he not rip it, T? Tore it up. See, told you, man. So I gotta do all that track justice. It's got to be justified. So anyways, sitting here doing the TDI. Well, actually, T's really doing it, but I'm sitting here with him doing the tedious TD Foshidi, which is like, editing, taking out the blips and the bleeps and the little conversations we were having on the track that don't belong in the song. And now we're burning a copy for me. I'm back to the OG style now. I got a disc and a stick. I keep it offline. Like I said before, I don't know if this record's going to be going on online, unless let me break it down for you. I think I did with iTunes, but I feel like iTunes is pretty much like a parasite on artists, because without the artist, I'm talking about all artists, without the artist, iTunes would have no content. Okay, so everybody's like, oh yeah, you're free now, they broke the monopoly of the record labels. I personally was signed to record labels, so I don't know anything about that. I have my own label now called Sirius Records. I started my own label before all the online stuff started happening. But the deal is that iTunes is a parasite on artists. All of these sites are, because people. There's a lot of pirating going on. So the only way to make that go away is to just take your music offline. That's the only way to make that happen. And I know that sounds harsh, but maybe those of you who know people who pirate music, you should say, hey, listen, you shouldn't be doing that. Just like, when you're watching a movie or whatever, I don't buy burns. Like, the burn when you're watching a movie, they're not even good anyways. You see the dude, how come they're always sitting behind a dude with like a 8 foot long afro, like, and he's always laughing. I'm pretty sure I heard somebody farting in one of those things too. Like one or two times I ever saw it, like over a homie's house or something. But personally, I don't buy them, and I can't stand to watch them. And you can hear them laughing. It's just, why would you even do that when you can watch it for like $1 from Redbox or like $3.99 Amazon, and just keep it real and all that shit. I mean, stuff. I didn't mean to say that S word. So anyways, without the artist, iTunes would not exist. But back in the day when you got a deal, what happened was you got an advance, you got a signing bonus, you got money, and you went and did your thing. Then they recouped on all that blah blah blah. You hear all the nightmare stories, like TLC and blah blah blah. That wasn't a label deal. That was a production deal. That was a deal that they made with producers, and the producers, which happened to be back then Babyface in LA, or their managers actually are the ones that took the money. They're the ones who made the deal with the label, and then they went and created that group TLC, and then because they created it, they felt like, well, we created this product, so we're going to take the lion's share of the money, and that's how that kind of thing happens. That's kind of how everybody just decided to jump on the the online thing. But what people don't realize is iTunes doesn't give you any money up front. They don't say, hey, here's 500, a million, you know, and then you license your product out to them, and when you sell that amount, then they can, when they sell they can sell a certain amount of your record, and then they got to re-up on the license. That's how it should be done. But instead, people go in there and they give it away, even though they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on this product. Real artists spend that much money on their products. You just can't help it. I mean, even if it's just your light bill and your time, and musicians, and a real record takes a lot of labor. It's not just something. I mean, some people sit in their bedrooms, but that's really rare. And those people that do that and break big, you're not hearing what they did in their bedroom. You're only seeing that on YouTube, which is again another thing that's parasitic. So when we do these on YouTube, that's why I don't put any of the music up, because I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to be respectful of the craft. I'm trying to be respectful of what we're doing and respect that process. I can't respect it if I just say, hey, I'm going to sign you can just, anybody can go onto iTunes. I can go wiggity wick, and then go, oh, that's hot, and upload it to iTunes and sign an 80-page contract, which daily it changes at their discretion and their whim. So you really have no control and you have no power, unless you're like U2, and they give you $10 million up front, and then they did all that stuff with them. But I think U2 even dissolved that agreement already with iTunes, because it's just not. So anyways, what I'm saying, for the main artist, it's a parasitic thing. If artists didn't upload their music onto iTunes could not exist. So they exist solely through our work, but they offer nothing for it. They don't even pay you fair market value, like when people download, and you usually have to get into an argument with them, or threaten a lawsuit for them to even pay you if you're not associated with a major label, which I'm an indie, so I can't touch iTunes. They have my first record, but I'm trying to get that off right now, and that particular record was stolen from somebody, and just straight up stolen, and I have to get it off. So you say, how does somebody steal your record? Well, you can do it. They put our record from Sirius Records on their label, and yeah, I'm not going to get too much into that because boring. But yeah. So anyway, and then the thing is, iTunes has, people advertise on iTunes. Everybody, Toyota, Taco Bell, whatever, McDonald's, they all advertise, and they pay the advertising dollars to who? To iTunes. Does iTunes profit share with the artist for uploading their content? No, they don't. So listen, if you have half of a business head and you're a new artist, don't put your music on iTunes. Really go back to old school and sell it out of the trunk of your car. You'll do better that way, and you'll get more sleep at night, knowing that you're not being ripped off by yet another parasitic corporate entity. Which is why I went indie in the first place. And yeah, do it for yourself. You can. Anybody can. All you need is the will. You need the will, and you need the courage to say, and you need to follow the beat of your own heart. If you're someone who follows anyways, and you're one in a pack, then you're really not an artist, then you're just really somebody who's just copying somebody else. Because real artists are creators. You know, they're creators. They create from out of nothing and nowhere in the air, and it just comes. And they don't listen to the radio all day. They don't, it just comes. They don't even need a keyboard. A song comes in their head, or they wake up in the middle of the night, and it's there. It's done. Every single part is done. And yeah, that's an artist. And there's definitely a difference between an artist and just some type of production. Oh, this is hot. This sounds like everything else. Whatever. People, wake up. Wake up. Listen to what you are listening to. Listen to the lyrics. Listen to the content. Listen, there's so much going on in this world. I'm pretty sure there's more interesting things than that dude looks good in that suit, and I wonder if he's going to be a faithful boyfriend. Really, we really have to grow beyond, not to say that's not important for a 14-year-old or, whatever, but there's way more people in this world than 14-year-olds. And, we have to address so many things, and we can address that through music. And we can change the world through music and perspectives through music. And, if you have a microphone, if you have a voice, I think you should use it to leave the world a better place. Or at least say something that's not being said every damn day of your life, I would like to graduate past the point of high school and the high school dilemma of boy meets girl, girl meets boy, whatever, girl meets girl, boy meets boy, and they make up, they break up. It's so just live that. And let's address things like the environment and consumption and intolerance and the beautiful things in the world that we just ignore. It's like we seem to focus on the things that are just wrong. Let's focus on the things that are right, instead of saying, what's wrong with you. Let's rework that question and say what's right with you. And so then we can start the dialogue by seeing all the things that are right. Anyways, that is where we're coming from. And I'm not trying to diss or say anything, a hot beat is a hot beat, but it's like you kind of have to know when the hottest thing, smoking out there, and the subject matter is just I mean, it doesn't even make me wonder. Like, I don't even wonder about that. You know what I mean? And I don't know. What are we listening to? What are we consuming? What are we consuming? People, wake up, man. Like, it's a revolution. There's so much going on in this world. There's so much beauty, and there's so much injustice. There's so many things that we can wake up and do every single day to make a difference in the world. And if we just take that focus off of our own small, immediate, hormonal need, whatever that is, you know what I mean? I mean, yeah, we have our basic needs in life. We need air, water, a little bit of food, some peace. But, I mean, not much more than that. We didn't have much more than that in the beginning, so we did really well. And, maybe we're over consuming. And, maybe we've come to a time in our history where, we need to take a real strong look at what we have become as a collective and where our priorities lie. And, because I read a lot, and it's not all about, it's not, you can't take money with you when you die. But what you can do is you can leave the world a better place. You can make money and change the world with that money. You can have a nice life, and you can make life better for others, and you can maybe think that, you know, the dialogue of, well, I'm paying taxes so you can, bomb somebody, or, I'm paying these taxes and this, that, and the other, and, first of all, there's injustice all over the world, and everybody's bombing everybody at this point, so you can't really point a finger. If it's not big scale violence, it's small scale violence. There's just violence. I mean, I just read Yahoo, like 3 people eating people. Like, what is going on here, people? What is going on? It's like a division. There's no middle ground anymore. Just like there's no middle class anymore. It's like either you're just all in hedonist, or you're all in the other end of that spectrum, and like the middle ground is not there, and that's where the problem is. It's like Buddha, Prince Siddhartha, he had everything, opulence, and he did his whole thing. He was a prince. Buddha, an actual historical figure. For those of you who don't know that, he's an actual historical figure, and he had everything: drugs, women, as much sex, and yeah, he was the prince. The night that his son was born, he left because he didn't want to touch his son, because he didn't want to be, he didn't want that burden, and he wanted to go out into the world, and explore, what life was, because once he went outside the palace gates, he saw sickness and death. Nobody was allowed to age in the palace, or be sick, or die. Like, he'd never seen that when he went out. Then he became a complete, I guess maybe you would call it a sadhu, or an ascetic, and he renounced everything, even food, and then he became all skinny and like almost, just, he looked like a sadhu in the dirt and all muddy. And then a girl came up and offered him rice, and he had a complete epiphany, and he saw the middle ground. And that's where Buddha and the Buddhist, that's the whole thing came from. That is being both polarities to finding the middle ground. The middle ground is where the peace is. It's where the harmony is. It's where the chorus is, and so we need to find that middle ground as a humanity. We need to find that middle ground as artists and in business. And it's not all or nothing. It's not. No one's desperate to get your things out and put your music up, and and check that artists shouldn't be that desperate. It's like giving birth to a child when you have a record or a song, and it comes from your soul, and it should be given the respect in the world that you would give to anything that you love and cherish. The respect. So that being said, that's my stance. So if you think that that's weird, I don't want to say I don't care, but you might want to rethink why you think that's so weird. You might want to give it a little thought, and also you may want to, just do on a piece of paper, what are your priorities in life? If money is like number 1 on your list, then you're always going to be chasing it, and you're never going to be happy. Money cannot be like number 1. It has to be like somewhere in the middle. Like, you have to find the middle. I can't tell you what number 1 is, but it should be something esoteric, like happiness or joy or giving or sharing. And from those desires will come abundance, because once those desires are established, then the universe will fill in and give you those things to fulfill those things. So if you want to share, and you want to be a philanthropist, and and you want to change the world or save animals or save, immigrants or whatever whatever your cause in his life, make it bigger than yourself. Try to see the big picture. Just try. I know sometimes it's hard, especially when you're younger, because you got those hormones, and those hormones push you, and the hormones want to be satisfied. But, hey man, Buddha was very young when he came out of the palace. So, it's really all in your spirit. It's all in your soul. It's all in your intention. And that carries you through lifetimes. So, and also remember, if you chase things, what you chase, you're always going to be chasing. Let it chase you. What you chase, you're always going to be chasing. So if you're always chasing money, you're always going to be chasing money. If you're always chasing sex, you're always going to be chasing sex. Or power or whatever it is. You have to be whatever it is you are, and then let everything else fall in place. You have to realize your own truth, and then everything else will materialize. But until you realize your own truth, nothing means anything, because you're always constantly looking outside of yourself for satisfaction in the world, and that's never gonna, even in depression, you're always looking at, I don't have this, I don't have that, I'm whatever. I don't even know, I'm not downing anybody who's depressed, but I'm saying, if a depressed person looks outside of themselves and takes their focus off of what they're depressed, and maybe look at the world and go, wow, look at these people over here, they're getting bombed on every day, and these people don't even know if they're going to be kicked out of the country, and they got their look at other things and other people's, and look at what you have. Oh, well, I do have a nice family, and I do have this, and I do have that. And yeah, I may slip and fall sometimes, but I have this and I have that. Once you take everything off the pressure of your limited self, your life can open up. Once you take the focus off of, what you don't have or what's wrong. If you always see what's wrong, it's always going to be wrong. If you always see the bad, it's always going to be bad. Everything's always going to be there. Everything's going to always exist in every moment. It's what you focus on that it's going to manifest in your life. So focus on the good. Train yourself. Don't have monkey mind. Get control of your mind. Get control. Your mind is the servant. You, your spirit, is the master. You tell your mind what to focus on and what to think and what to believe. And that's how I came to this iTunes thing. And everybody's like, ah! I was like, no. It's not going up. I don't know how at the end of the day it's going to be done. All I know is that either I'm creating a new way, a new vehicle, and setting a precedent, period. Do or die, baby. I'm all in. I'm all in with this revolution. So now that I have done this hour-long dissertation for you, I'm going to peace you out. I'll see you next week. And as always, I love you, and feel free to use TP with your bunghole. And that will be good night. HomoAlienApianism. We are. It's almost TT's B-Day in a half hour. Alright. Peace out, people. Peace.